It's time to ride
and rank
every ride at Universal Islands of Adventure. Hey there, Mam Fam. Ride and Rank is back at Universal Orlando.
This is the challenge where we try to ride and then rank every ride in the park. We did this at Walt Disney World, park by park, culminating in a challenge where we tried to ride every Walt Disney World ride in 24 hours. Now, it's Universal Orlando's turn. We already did this at Universal Studios Florida, so today we are at their second park, Islands of Adventure.
There are a lot of heavy hitters in this park, so let's get to it.
Today we will be attempting to ride and rank 16 different rides across the park, from fan favorites like Jurassic World Velocicoaster all the way to One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. Technically there are 18 rides in this park, however, Pterodon Flyers is one, closed for refurbishment, and two, we don't have a child with us so we couldn't ride it anyway. Additionally, Popeye and Bluto's Bilge-Ratch Barges is currently down for its annual water ride refurbishment, which we are so sad about.
I'm broken up. I don't know if I'll ever recover from this.
We'll try though.
Yeah, my emotions are shattered.
We will do our best to recover from that loss. Now, just like in the other ride and rank challenges, this is rides only things that Universal Orlando classifies as a moving ride. So no walkthrough experiences like the SS Olive Oil, no dining experiences, no character meet and greets, rides only. So let's kick it back to past Molly and Alan, who kicked off the challenge a little bit ago because, well, we had to get here early for a good reason. All right, we have made it into the park. Big shout out to Universal's pass holder exclusive turnstiles, because there was no line there, and quite a line for the regular gate. And we are in for early park admission, which you can get into as a pass holder as well as a Universal Hotel guest. And we're going to the same place as, you know, everyone, I'm sure. The white whale for today, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure Team. As a pro tip, if you are coming in for early park admission, you are going to need whatever your credential is to get in. You're going to have to show the team members even after in the park, so your hotel key or your annual pass, so make sure you have it out. And the reason Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM is today's biggest obstacle, it does not have Express Pass. So there's no other way to get on this ride but waiting in standby or having a VIP guide, which we obviously do not. So we have to go and knock it out first thing, and then hopefully the rest of the day will be a little less stressful.
Okay, well, we have officially made it into the line for Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM. And you might be thinking, wow, you're in the Lost Continent. The answer that I'll say is yes, that is where the line is starting this morning for this attraction. So we are going to time our wait and let you know when we get closer to the attraction, or at least when we have to put our camera into the locker.
It's been about 7 minutes and we're almost into Hogsmeade Village at the lockers, where we're gonna have to drop the camera and our bags off. Posted wait time right now, 110 minutes. We'll see what happens. We shall see, but I'm hoping it's not quite that long and they just put up a big number to open the ride, because it will get that long very quickly. Now, a couple important things about Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM. This is a roller coaster where you are going to board Sirius's motorbike, either on the bike itself or the sidecar, and head to Care of Magical Creatures class with Hagrid. But unfortunately, as things often do when Hagrid is in charge, things go awry. Honestly, Hagrid tries to kill children pretty much nonstop throughout the story, and this ride is no exception, except for now you're one of the children. I love this attraction. Spoiler alert, it's my favorite ride ever on planet Earth that I've ever been on, because it is a thrilling coaster. There are 7 launches, which was record-breaking when it opened. There is so much cool technology on this attraction, but also there's a fun story. There's an incredible Hagrid animatronic. It's just a delight from A to Z. Hello, good morning, hello. It has a 48-inch height requirement, and it does have that unusual seat, so I do recommend sitting in the test seat outside the attraction if you're concerned, because it would be a real bummer to wait this whole line for it to not work out. And Alan's gonna drop our stuff off at the lockers now. Okay, bye. Hello, Hagrid. Do you have any little creatures in there? I think they're eating your pumpkins. Okay. Price is Right rules. What do you think the wait time? How long is it gonna take for us to get on the bike? It is currently, just so we all have all the information, it's been about 17 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a posted 110-minute wait.
I'm gonna say...
Price is Right rules.
Yeah. Say 75.
1 minute. Just noticed there's some tiny feet, tiny gripper prints here in the queue. And I'm trying to figure out who I think made them because they're human-esque. They're human in nature. Not all of them. There are animal paw prints, but those were human in nature. What do Dobby's feet look like? What do house elf feet look like? This is important. Please Google house elf feet. Pics.
I'm gonna be on a list somewhere.
Probably, but it's worth it. House elf feet. Do they look like little people feet?
Yeah, they only have 4 toes.
I think those were Dobby feet. Time check. It's been 47 minutes and we're in Hagrid's office workshop. Yeah, so we have one more room. Pretty good.
Yep.
It's the best.
It's a great attraction.
It's the best. Now, it only took us 55 minutes in line, which means I won. But
that's true.
Really, we all won.
It feels like it's best for both of us.
Everyone wins if you don't have to wait an hour for Hagrid's. That's incredible. Good note for our final challenge. We have another good time to ride it is there's usually like a mid-morning dip once all the rope droppers are done. Both the early park admission rope droppers, and then you also have people that regular rope dropped. Right now, it's 135 minutes because of them. Yeah. So usually around like 10:30, 11, there's a dip.
And then, of course, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But there are some caveats to that.
Yeah, I have been in the park before where the line hits capacity at the end of the night, and they don't let anyone else in. Plus, it's Florida. Weather is a concern. It's an outdoor ride. So lots of factors. That is going to be a hard one in the big challenge.
I agree. Now, as we've done before, we are going to rank all of these rides. This is an objective ranking on should you ride this ride. It is not our favorites. We'll do that a little bit later. This is an objective scale. So
10,000 million.
Out of 10.
1,000 million.
Okay, well, it's 10 out of 10 for me on the rideability scale.
This is one that, yes, you're gonna have to wait in a long line if you don't have a VIP tour, and yes, it's worth it. And that's coming from someone that literally hates standing in line. I will do pretty much anything to avoid waiting in long lines, and I would happily wait in a 2-hour queue for Hagrid. So it's a banger, an absolute must-do. And while it's still early, the park only officially just opened like 20 minutes ago. We're gonna try and take advantage of some other shorter waits now.
Up next, we are headed to Jurassic World Velocicoaster, which is my personal favorite roller coaster here at Islands of Adventure. This is a thrilling high-speed coaster with a 51-inch height requirement that loops you, takes you upside down, and has an incredibly tall hi-hat drop that frankly makes my stomach enter my throat. But it's a blast, and I can't wait to go. Also, who doesn't want to race velociraptors through their pen? Actually, upon second thought, that is a terrible idea.
Yeah, but I would totally go to Jurassic Park if it existed.
I mean, yeah, same.
It's my toxic trait. There's like many movies telling me why I shouldn't, but I'd still go.
Yeah, I get it. Currently, this attraction has a 45-minute wait, but we have Express Pass. Just because you have Express Pass does not mean immediate access to the attraction. Universal says that you should expect to wait an Express that's about half of what's happening in the standard queue. Now, it is often far less than that, but we have not found that to be true on Jurassic World Velocicoaster, so we're going to take advantage of that lower wait time right now.
Hello.
Hello.
Banger.
Yeah.
Banger again.
So good. All right, that's a 10.
1,000 billion again.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. I think we did a real 1-2 punch of the must rides in this park.
I don't know if I could think of another park where there's two bangers of that caliber just sitting right next to each other like that. Like, you really got the ultimate in coasters, especially right there. And it's all downhill from here now for the rest of this video.
And hopefully it'll be smooth sailing and not at all nausea-inducing.
Oh, we're riding Forbidden Journey next.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to.
I can hear John Williams, and we're headed to hear John Williams. And there she is, looming in the distance, Hogwarts Castle, our next destination, to ride Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, again, takes place inside Hogwarts Castle, and I always make the comment that it's not the best Harry Potter ride, but it is the most Harry Potter ride, because between the queue and the attraction, you are going to come face to face with iconic scenes and iconic characters such as the Golden Trio, Dumbledore, the Chamber of Secrets, the Basilisk, dragons, Hagrid, Acromantula, Dementors.
Quidditch. Dementor.
I already said that one.
Well, it's important because there's a lot of them.
There's a lot. Dementors again. And so much more. This has, in my opinion, one of the best queues, if not the best queue ever built, because it takes you through different classrooms and locations you know and love from Hogwarts. Then it puts you on a state-of-the-art ride vehicle that takes you through a mix of screens and practical sets. Because of the screens, this attraction makes some people incredibly, incredibly nauseous.
I'm some people.
I am also some people, but we're riding and ranking everything, so we must do this. We haven't had anything to eat, which was, I think, a good move for this ride. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey has a 48-inch height requirement, and it does have a tester seat outside if you'd like to try it out. And like the other two attractions we've ridden so far today, you do have to put items into a locker. Lockers are free for the smaller ones, but they are a couple dollars if you need a bigger one, if you've got a bigger backpack, or in our case, a big camera. And we're headed to the castle. Now again, we put the camera in a locker, so I'm on my phone. I'm sorry the audio quality's a little bit different. But again, we are using Universal Express today, which is their version of a skip the line service. I've done multiple videos on how the service works, but it's super easy. You either have regular Express or Unlimited Express, which allows you to ride everything multiple times, except for, again, Hagrid's. But we just got the regular kind. And Express does cut off a good amount of this queue. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, I do recommend jumping in the full queue if the line's not too long, which it tends to not be super long at some point throughout the day, because you're going to want to see all the Easter eggs and details. But we are going to take a founder selfie right now with our house founders. Hey, buddy.
Gracious hosts. That excrescence wouldn't even make a substitute on the Slytherin team.
You're mad, Salazar. Just watch. I'll wager young Mr. Potter and Gryffindor beat Slytherin today.
Ah! Gryffindor doesn't stand a chance, Rowena.
Shh. Honestly, all of you. We have guests.
What are all these muggles doing at Hogwarts anyway? I expect this is Dumbledore's doing.
He's like kind of annoyed that all these strangers came into his house uninvited.
Anyway, we thought you might prefer to come with us and see a game of Quidditch.
We did it.
Yeah. What do you rank that?
I want to give it an 8.5. I understand it makes a lot of people super nauseous, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
If you're going to get motion sick, obviously don't ride it, or ride it at the end of the day when it's okay if you're, a little queasy walking out of there.
I think the hack there is if you are motion sick, it's probably going to be aggravated by the screens.
I close my eyes
Plus
during the Quidditch scenes.
Yeah,
and
plus the
dragon
motions.
chase.
Yeah. It's that is. And then they have a nice little fan right up above you. So
Yeah.
if you ever feel any sort of like ickiness, just stare up into the
Lean
fan
up,
and
lean up.
breathe deeply of the recycled air.
But it is a very, very cool attraction. The amount of Harry Potter things in the attraction is amazing as a Harry Potter fan. Not to mention the technology of this attraction is groundbreaking, and I don't know of another attraction like this.
I mean, not until we have Epic Universe open will we have something anywhere close to similar.
So for me, I think it's awesome, especially as a Harry Potter fan. So 8.5.
I agree.
I just noticed a fun little Easter egg. They have target practice back here. I am assuming for the Quidditch players or just, general chaos. And at first I was confused why they'd have the proclamational decree from the High Inquisitor. That's Umbridge, because she's clearly not here in the castle anymore. But I think they just are using her old signs as target practice, because you can see the targets up above, and then you can see where the sign's been hit as well. And I'm going to assume that was intentional.
Now, next up, proximity-wise, and what we were planning on doing is Flight of the Hippogriff. But that currently has an 85-minute wait in a standby queue, which means that Express would be 40 minutes, 45 minutes, because typically they're only running one ride vehicle, so it is pretty true to time there, and Express being half the posted standby queue. So for now, we're gonna skip this, see if that wait time comes down, and head over into Seuss Landing. Okay, listen, I know it's drizzling now, but that sign is back. Awarded Best Theme Park Restaurant. The last time I was here, that sign was not there, and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. But I guess it's good that the sign is back. Way to go, Mythos. We have arrived in Seuss Landing, where all things are weird, wacky, and just ever so slightly off kilter, and we are headed to the High in the Sky Seuss Trolley Train Ride. This attraction, as it would suggest you, puts you semi-high in the sky. Yeah, I guess semi-high in the sky, as you move on a trolley train ride. It has a 36-inch height requirement and gives you a nice overhead view of Seuss Landing.
It's the people mover of Seuss Landing.
Yes, the people Seusser. Well, did you learn the lesson of the Starbelly Sneetches?
Yeah, we're all nice, even if we're all different.
Yeah, you don't have to have a star on your belly.
Everyone is worth loving. That's what I learned.
That's good. All from that People Mover style ride.
Yeah.
Well, what do we rank it?
Here's the thing. I actually think this is a really cute attraction. I think it's fun that there's two different tracks, that you get this nice view of Seuss Landing. You go into Circus McGurkus Cafe Stupendous. 4?
4, I think 4 is good. That's what I was thinking, 4.
Yeah, it's probably one of the better rides in this land, but definitely not a must-do for a lot of people.
It's a nice filler ride.
Yeah.
Especially if the queue is and the line is shorter.
And this whole land is cute if you've got little ones.
Yeah.
Next up, we're headed across the way here to Carousel, which is a carousel featuring Seuss creatures instead of like horses and stuff. There's no height requirement, and there's usually not a long line. It's pretty cute, pretty basic, but you need these rides in the parks too. What kind of Seuss creature do you want to ride on?
Alpaca-wearing head sock.
Where is that? Oh.
What about you?
Well, if I'm gonna ride next to you, I guess I gotta be on long neck
Bird?
giraffe bird. I kind of like weird cow though, too. I'm gonna get cow. What is that?
You know, that's a good question.
What's this?
That was longer than anticipated.
Things I could do in the time that we were on the carousel.
Okay.
I could have probably run to Universal Studios Florida and back.
Learn to crochet.
I could have watched the first VHS tape of Titanic.
Cooked risotto.
I mean, it's long for a carousel, which is great if you're waiting in line for a ride.
Yeah, I agree. But I think as far as rating this goes,
A 10 for my cow. I didn't know that any of them moved, so I was tickled by that.
a 2.5.
Yeah, that's more accurate.
For the rideability scale. You know, it is a fun carousel, certainly good for the littles. There's something to be said for the moving of some of the
Get the cows.
Seussimals.
Seussimals.
Yeah.
But for most people, you don't need to ride this.
Speaking of stuff that is also in Seuss Landing, you have one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Now this is a Dumbo-style attraction, but there are game elements to it where if you move up and down at the incorrect times, you can get sprayed with water, which combines, you know, two of my favorite things, Dumbo-style attractions and punishment for not doing the correct thing with getting wet, which I know is just amazing. This has no height requirement, so the whole family can enjoy some dampness. All right, dear viewer, Molly and I were having a discussion about the attraction One Fish, Two Fish, and my proclivity for them or not. They're not my favorite. Dumbo style attractions aren't my favorite, but we were chatting about this, and Molly said, "Alan, look." What'd you say, Moles?
I said that some of them
Yeah.
are two fishes together.
Yeah.
Look at some of the fish have two.
Interesting. So the attraction's name is what? Yeah. Well, solve that mystery. Somebody,
Never noticed that.
like a Scoob, we have another person joining the gang.
I'm an investigative journalist, and I've never noticed that. We got this sassy bluefish. Alan, we're bluefish. Are you ready? We cannot get wet. It's very important to me that we don't get wet.
We're gonna get wet today anyway.
Don't remind me.
Come give it a try. One fish, red fish, up, up, up. Two fish, blue fish, down, down, down.
Down, good job.
Now I say, fly up or down the other way.
Up, up, up.
Two fish, blue fish. If he flies high, you fly low. When you go up,
He's kind of medium. He's kind of medium. Oh, go down, 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 no. We didn't get wet.
Correct. What an interesting concept. Let's put you on a Dumbo ride, and then if you do something wrong, you're punished.
I like the game aspect of it. I don't like getting wet, but I do like that you have to listen and they make it a little more fun than just spinning. So I give them credit for that.
Yeah, that's fair. It's 3.5.
Yeah, it's Dumbo. It's a spinner. It's not anything most people need to do, but if you've got little ones, they're gonna enjoy it. One thing I do want to note is that these rides, the last three we've done, do tend to take a little bit longer in the queue. They have pretty slow load and unload times just because of how many ride vehicles they are. Generally, rides that a lot of little kids are getting on and off of take a little bit longer, so just pack those patient pans and keep in mind that even in Express, we've waited 10-15 minutes at the last three rides.
Sure.
But now, the real crown jewel of Seuss Landing.
A fever dream.
Come to life. That's right, friends. It's time to ride the Cat in the Hat. This is a dark ride that takes you through the Cat in the Hat story. 36-inch height requirement. It does have a little bit of a spinning element, so keep that in mind. But honestly, what could go wrong? This sounds delightful. Sounds lovely. Sounds like it'll be a real treat for all of us.
We looked, and we saw him step in on the net. We looked, and we saw him, the Cat in the Hat.
Look at me! Look at me! I'm the cat with a cup and a cake on the top of my hat. Two things, and I call them Thing 1 and Thing 2. They are tame, oh so tame. They have come here to play.
On her way home. Do you hear? I saw her. Your mother is near. So as fast as you can, think of something to do.
Well,
I'm trying to crack this egg or keep it warm or something for Horton.
that
I love
ride is something else.
It's a fever dream. Here's the thing. That ride opened 1999 opening day ride, and it looks like it.
Yeah,
I love this land. I think it's so cute.
yeah.
I think they need to give it some TLC.
I'd agree.
That's not the ride you bring your Universal hater friends on to show them that Universal is as good as Disney. That's not the one you bring them on.
I agree. And for that reason, I'm going to give this a 3.6.
I think it's fun to ride once with the expectation that it's a fever dream, but don't wait a long time for it. So I'm okay with that rating. All right, we're making pretty good time. I will say a couple things I'm looking at. Dudley Do-Rights is on an extended delay, so we'll see if that comes back up at all. I won't be mad about not riding it, but I will, also be furious if Dudley Do-Rights is what makes me lose. And let's do a check
Last
here.
time I saw was 65 minutes of the Incredible Hulk, where we are headed next.
Yes. A little wait time check for you. It's about 12:30. 40 minutes at Jurassic Park. 45 at Seuss Trolley Train. Glad we did that. 55 at the Hogwarts Express. 65 at Hulk, 70 at Flight of the Hippogriff, 75 at Spider-Man, 90 at Skull Island Reign of Kong, and extended delay at Dudley Do Right. So we still have a lot to go, but we decided to take a snack break at the Croissant Moon Bakery, where they recently released these pizza waffles.
Pizza croffles.
Croffles, yes, it's a croissant waffle with marinara sauce, cheese, and pepperoni on it. Cheers.
I'm not mad at that at all. Wow.
The best part is the croissant. It's a croissant that's been waffled. So you've got the flaky, buttery croissant flavor in there.
And then on top, it's just classic pepperoni pizza. Red marinara sauce, mozzarella, pepperoni on top.
But like pretty good marinara for theme park food. Think of puffy pizza marinara.
I don't want to.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this as a little snack. It might be because we're very hungry, or it might be because, as I think, it's pretty darn tasty.
We also got coffees. Croissant Moon does great coffees. This is their nitro cold brew. Love it.
This is their cold brew, and we've not had any caffeine today.
We need it.
All right, almost halfway there. Delicious treat and desperately needed coffee consumed, and we are on our way into Marvel Superhero Island to ride The Incredible Hulk. It has a 56-inch height requirement and gets up to 67 miles an hour as you loop to loop and really experience what it feels like to be exposed to gamma radiation at a molecular level. For the Hulk, they are going to make sure that you put your phone and any loose articles into a locker. So if you are using Mobile Express Pass like we are, you'll take it to the front of the Express Pass queue, present your Mobile Express Pass QR code. That will then be scanned, and you'll be given these 2 receipts that will act as your Express Pass for the Incredible Hulk. And now we're going to go put all of our items inside of a locker.
Quick, Alan, do your best impression of the Hulk during the launch. Pretty good.
Now you.
Pretty good.
Now you.
I am the master of this castle.
Different park.
Yeah, but similar vibes. Banger once again. I think it's like an 8.5.
Gotta be. Not as smooth, or I think as like themed on the track as Hagrid's.
I don't think it's as thrilling as Velocicoaster.
But still very thrilling. A great coaster.
Great coaster, lots of fun. Love that original soundtrack. Bum, 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 bum. Banger. Love it. And now we're on to a ride you might have forgotten exists. Next up is Storm Force Accelatron, which is this park's version of the teacups. It does not have a height requirement. The only restriction is you can't have a lap-sitting baby. But other than that, it's just, again, basically the teacups. I do find that it's a little more intense than the teacups. Alan, have you ever been on this?
Once.
Oh,
Forever ago.
you're in for a real treat.
The faster you will spin. Good luck.
Thank you.
Get in there.
Okay,
Push the door, guys. Push the door.
Alan, I find that these whip around more than the teacups, even if you're not spinning.
I know my job.
Not on Alan's watch.
Push the door.
This means I'm serious.
Whack.
You know, normally I say that has more whip than the teacups.
Not today.
And it definitely does. Like, if you don't touch it at all, you can spin it like the teacups, but if you don't touch it at all, normally I say it is much more of a whip, but I mean, I haven't seen Alan concentrate that hard since trying to beat me at that little stick jumping game at the Cracker Barrel. That was like years ago. So,
Listen, I was locked in. We didn't move at all.
that was very good. Thank you for doing that, because I didn't want to get nauseous. 2
I think that's fine. Yeah, too.
It's the teacups. It's fine. It's a good filler ride if you've got kids or somebody that's not tall enough to ride something like Hulk. But most people, you're good.
All right, well, after braving the storm, we are headed to Dr. Doom's Fear Fall. That is a free fall style attraction where Dr. Doom will feast upon our fears. It has a 52-inch height requirement, and I gotta be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna be really fearful. I'm quite thankful, actually, to just be going up and down instead of spinning around and getting quite nauseated this time.
Do you want to know something a little dark and depressing?
No.
Well, great, I'm gonna show you. If you look at on the ground right here,
Yeah.
you can see where things have gone cursed flat, and the silhouettes are the X-Men, Fantastic Four.
There you go.
Anyway, they're dead now because he threw them off the tower, and all their silhouettes are here.
What a fun fact that is. When I think about facts that are fun,
I'm here for you.
it's
Fun facts.
It's the death that really brings it to you. All right, well, that was fun.
I kind of like that ride. I don't think you should wait more than like 10, 15 minutes for it, which luckily it rarely has a wait that long. So I think it's like a 5. It's a perfectly middle of the road, fun thrill. You get one good stomach lurch.
And you get a nice view as you head back down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 5 feels good.
Yeah. Well, we have one more attraction here in Marvel Superhero Island, but unfortunately it is temporarily closed. The team members are saying it should be out pretty soon. It's The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, but instead of waiting outside here, we're gonna go on and do our next attraction and then double back as to save some time. Also, that ride makes me nauseous, so kind of just procrastinating riding it, if I'm being honest with you. And by next ride, I of course mean skipping Toon Lagoon and going to Kong, because I'm not trying to get wet yet. We have found ourselves in Skull Island to ride Skull Island Reign of Kong. This is the King Kong themed attraction where you are headed to Skull Island to go on an adventure. When Ruh-roh, you come across some of the native creatures, including, of course, King Kong himself. It is the same ride style as Fast and the Furious Supercharged. It's the big party bus style where it is going to have some screens, but it is no longer in 3D. So if that made you nauseous before, good news. It has a 36-inch height requirement, and it usually has a pretty long line because of the slow load and unload. So I expect Express will take some amount of time with this posted 70-minute wait, but we got to keep on trucking. Also, when this attraction opened, they had scare actors in the queue, and it was a nightmare. It's still kind of a nightmare, but I kind of wish they'd bring the scare actors back, if I'm being honest. You know, when I ride that ride for like the first 80%, I'm like, all right. And then you see the Kong animatronic, and I'm like, all right.
I think those two thoughts can be held at the same time. The attraction overall is fine, but that animatronic, very impressive.
It's worth riding just to see the Kong animatronic. Honestly, I don't think I'd recommend waiting in a 60, 70, 80-minute queue to see it, but if you've Express or it's not that long, like the animatronic is awesome. It's
worth
ginormous.
Seeing. It's worth seeing.
What are we gonna rate this?
6.5. 6.5 is fair.
And it's better right now. They're working on the track, but normally the beginning of the ride's cool too, because you go on the outside and you go into the big temple, and it's a massive set piece, and it's going Kong, 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 and it's like very exciting. So yeah, 6.5.
All right, status update. Currently, The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man is still down. And Flight of the Hippogriff is up to 90 minutes. And I don't fancy waiting 45 minutes in an express queue. So we're gonna go ahead and bite the bullet and ride Jurassic Park River Adventure. This is a water attraction that takes you throughout Jurassic Park as things definitely don't go awry. And there's a drop into water. It has a 42-inch height requirement, and you certainly don't get soaked. Also worth noting is there is an attraction that is down here called Pterodon Flyers, but even if it wasn't down, we couldn't ride it because you need to have a child with you between 36 and 56 inches in order to ride it. As we don't have that, and I'm not gonna borrow a child, we couldn't ride Pterodon Flyers anyway. So, I'll have to buy ponchos. So many ponchos. All right, you ready?
I am not.
Now we're ready.
As ready as we could be. Now, normally I do bring Molly's patented water ride outfit, which is a rain jacket and a hat, but it doesn't cover my butt. And that is of particular concern, not only here, but also Dudley's, so we went for the poncho route. I would recommend bringing your own ponchos because you can get them a lot cheaper than the $12 ones at the gift shop before discount, but sacrifices must be made today. I'm not gonna lie to you, I forgot to order ponchos, and what am I gonna do, get wet? Absolutely.
We stayed dry.
Yeah, we did. Back row with the poncho and
W.
went down the hill like this.
Well, one of us did. My hood came off,
Oh no.
but that's okay.
Still didn't get wet, so that's
Sure.
a win. I
is.
love that ride, and that says a lot considering it's a water ride.
I think it's a fun time. The animatronics are, I'm gonna say it, far and away better than the other park that has a dinosaur-themed ride.
Some of them, that's probably true, but I do think the T-Rex is very, very good.
I agree. I think for this one, 8.2.
You think Hulk's better than this?
Yeah.
All right, well, my subjective list is going to reflect differently, but I'll agree with that. I feel like this is a fun ride. There's a very fun moment if you're a Jurassic Park fan where they say, "Welcome to Jurassic Park," and the big gates open and the John Williams score pipes in. It's like, you get a little teary.
Iconic.
It's wonderful. So definitely a Jurassic Park fan, a must ride. And even if you're not, dinosaurs are cool, and so is a big 80-foot drop.
Yeah.
We find ourselves back in Marvel Superhero Landing, ready to get caught in Spider-Man's web because the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man has reopened from that brief technical delay. Currently has a posted 35-minute wait, which is pretty good. I find that even though this ride is incredibly popular and has been since opening day, the capacity of it means that the wait times usually aren't too long. Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man has a 40-inch height requirement and is a part 3D simulator, but it also moves through practical sets as you are sent out as a journalist for the Daily Bugle to try and capture some of the info about the crime happening in the city. You're probably as qualified as Amy from Under Wraps to be an investigative journalist, but that's all right, because Spider-Man's there to help you out, and you're gonna face a lot of classic Spider-Man comic book villains. This ride makes me pretty nauseous, but we've committed, so here we go.
Good luck. Man, you shouldn't be out here. With Doc Ock on the loose, this could be the most dangerous night of my life. And yours. Be careful. Nice shades. Was that Spider-Man? That no good.
Hey, Alan.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite of the following Spider-Man villains we just fought? Metal Ursula, the Great Pumpkinator, Splish Splash, Jamie Foxx but not, or the guy from Kiss.
I'm a Doc Ock fan. What about you?
I gotta give it up for the guy from Kiss.
Scream?
Sure. Ah.
What do you think of the ride, though?
I think it makes me nauseous,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to take that out because I know it doesn't for everyone. I think it's a cool blend of screens and practical sets. The practical set parts are really fun. I like the effects, like when I believe it's Hobgoblin throws the pumpkin and real fire comes out. So I think it's a pretty cool attraction that holds up over 25 years later.
I agree. That screen sequence, though, where Spider-Man is slinging you all over the city.
Slinging that pizza waffle around my tummy.
Boy. But even all that said, 7?
0.5.
7.5.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ride and a pretty low wait time, cool queue. I think a pretty solid choice.
Back in Toon Lagoon for our next stop, I do want to pause and acknowledge that Popeye and Bluto's Bilge-Rat Barges is currently closed for refurbishment. So we are unable to ride that. However, I think we should still rank it there, Molly.
I would give it like a 5.2. You get soaking wet, but
Yeah.
I do think it's pretty long, and as far as raft rides go, it's pretty good. I don't know.
Certainly it's an enjoyable question mark experience. Listen, for both of us, we're the wrong people to ask about water rides or attractions where you do get drenched. But if I had to choose between the Bilge-Rat Barges and where we're going next, I'd pick the Bilge-Rat Barges. And speaking of where we are going next, it is Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. This is a log flume style attraction that takes you on a journey with Dudley Do-Right, who everybody knows and is incredibly relevant in today's pop culture lexicon, and is also one of the only Canadians left traveling to the United States. This attraction has a 44-inch height requirement and gets you absolutely drenched. And I think my favorite part about it, outside of, being absolutely soaked, is the fact that I get to straddle a stranger. While wet, which is what I've taken a straw poll everybody wants. I've not heard a singular person be like, that sounds atrocious. Why would that happen?
That sounds atrocious.
No. Everyone loves it. So we're going to ride it. Again, we are not prepared for this attraction as of yet. So, Molly, do the thing. Ready?
No. But we must.
We must. What a fun video concept.
It was so fun we thought of this.
All right, here we go.
Now, for neither Dudley's nor Popeye's are lockers required, which is Christopher Bridges, in my opinion, because your stuff's going to get soaking wet. So we are going to purchase a locker, which are available to put our camera and bags and things in, because, again, I can't tell you just how wet you can possibly get on these rides. Like, I'm talking jumped into a swimming pool with your clothes on wet. We've purchased 2 extra ponchos, which I'm gonna try and do like a skirt situation around my waist to prevent my butt from getting wet. We didn't bring sandals because that would take a lot of time, but we did take our socks off. Try to survive out here, you know what I mean? Trying so hard to be objective right now, which is really hard with wet shoes and underpants.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
So
you got it worse than I did. I'm just gonna say it. It's right up in my crotch. I don't like it. But I know that there are some people who absolutely love this attraction. There are some people who in the dead of summer seek out these types of water attractions. You know how I know that? We get comments all the time from people letting us know that this is what is sought out. And to you, I say, I will not be taking up space in this line and extending it for you. Which, you know what? That's humanitarian.
This bad boy gets 60, 70, 80 plus minute waits in the summer.
Won't be me.
Could not be me.
But I think...
Okay, credit where credit's due. The drop is fun. I am scared during the drop because I'm just waiting for the imminent water, but actually, the wettest we got was earlier in the ride. At one point,
sloshing about.
A capsize came in all over my legs and Alan's feet, and I had a pool of water in my crotch.
So wet.
It is so wet, but ultimately, it's fine. It's a log flume attraction. You get wet, but that's to be expected. It's pretty fine. 4, 5?
4.8. And here's why. I would give it a 5, but a lot of the animatronics, a lot of the moving parts are very clearly aged.
Yeah, just rip it down, Universal. Make a new ride.
Or update it.
It's not this one. 4.8 is fine.
Yeah.
2 rides left. Okay, well, we tested the little dryer things out, and they kind of work for like the top and bottom parts, but my shoes are still really wet, and I was holding them up to the air, and the middle part is still wet. So yeah. I don't know that they're effective. Kind of, maybe. And like that, we have apparated back into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter to ride Flight of the Hippogriff, which we skipped earlier because of the 75-minute wait. So I'm pleased to share it still has a 75-minute wait, but at least we're not pressed for time anymore. We've got several hours left on the clock, so we can easily wait this probably 40-minute queue. Flight of the Hippogriff is your kiddie first coaster ride here at Islands of Adventure, and of course it's themed to Wizarding World of Harry Potter, where you are going to go visit with Hagrid, and you are going to see Buckbeak, which is the main reason I like this attraction, because there's a very cool Buckbeak animatronic that you don't really get a good view of unless you ride the ride. It has a 36-inch height requirement, and as you've seen, it usually is one of the longer lines in the park, just because they only have one hippogriff that can fly at a time, so the load and unload is very long. But as for my Harry Potter fans, there's also tons of cute Easter eggs and details, many of which I detail in our Wizarding World Secrets video, where I share over 100 little Easter eggs and details to look for if you're a Potterhead like me. Hey, Alan.
Hey, Molly.
Okay, if you were in the Tri-Wizard tournament, what task do you think you would be the best at?
Probably the maze. What about you?
Why the maze?
I feel like I can solve a maze and solve riddles. It's like an escape game.
That's kind of true.
What about you?
I think the mermaid one, because...
You're such a strong swimmer?
I love water. No, because I'd have to figure out how to get myself into a shark. The Victor Crumb approach.
Well, he does a half transfiguration situation.
Yeah. But if I could figure out a full transfiguration situation, then I would get to, 1, live my dream of being a shark for a little bit, and 2, go save whoever's most important to me. I don't think Kronk's gonna like this very much. Just kidding.
Wow.
But I would not be as dumb as Harry to try and get 2 people. And honestly, if I was Harry, I'd get Hermione and leave Ron.
Ah!
For your safety, shoes, shirts, and yes.
No, bow your head.
All right, well, we spent 30 minutes in that queue.
I think it was like 35 by the time we got on there, and that's a long time for that ride.
I gotta say, the juice is not worth the squeeze.
That ride, again, usually is a longer line, which I do think is going to pull it down in my objective rating for it. What I like about that ride, the Buckbeak animatronic, the view of Hogwarts. As a Potter fan, of course, I enjoy the ambiance in the queue area, but I think for most people, unless you've got little ones that you're like, hey, let's do a family-friendly kids first coaster style ride, it's probably a skip.
I agree. I'm thinking, from an objective standpoint, 4.5?
0.6.
4.6,
yeah.
Sure. An additional 0.1.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's for Bucky. Only one left. Let's go. All aboard.
Now you might think to yourself, the Hogwarts Express is transportation, right? It takes you from park to park. And while yes, that is true, Universal actually classifies it as a ride. And actually not one ride, but two, because the experience is different depending on which way you are traveling. Which means when it comes time for the big challenge, this is gonna be a bit of a time suck because you're gonna have to ride it both ways. But yes, this is also a transportation mode between Universal Studios Florida and Universal Islands of Adventure. So therefore you do need to have a park-to-park ticket in order to utilize the Hogwarts Express. It is normally much faster to just walk out of the park and walk across to the other one, but this is a more magical experience. So it also takes Express Pass, and I do recommend using that because oftentimes the wait can get quite long. And if you are a Harry Potter fan, well, I'm gonna tell you this is a must-do. And just like that, we are at Universal Studios Florida.
I do really enjoy the train. I know the wait can be longer than walking, but as a Potter fan, it's just really magical. I like this version because I do like seeing Fred and George together, which they are forever throughout the rest of time. They spend their whole lives together. It's really, really sweet. And I like the quick blink and you miss it Voldemort appearance.
Yes. All that being said, though, what do we rank it? It was 6.8 last time.
Going the other way?
You're going the other way.
I'm giving it a 6.7. I feel the same way about it generally, but I do, as much as I like the things I just said, I like the Diagon Alley to Hogsmeade path a little bit more because of like the Dementor and the view of Hogwarts and stuff. So
I like that.
But yeah, 6.7, very fun, especially if you're a Potterhead.
Well, that brings us to an end of the ride and rank here at Universal Islands of Adventure. Well, not here.
Yeah, that's
Universal Studios Florida.
But we ended up here. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We did it with a little bit of time to spare, but not enough time probably to go ride every ride at Universal Studios Florida. So we're gonna have to really mull things over for the big challenge.
Yeah, gotta figure out how to give us the best opportunity for success there.
Yeah, because especially when you've got surprise problems like Flight of the Hippogriff and Trolls Troller Coaster that are like things you don't think are gonna take a long time and then they do. So we're gonna be mulling that over. But for now, to recap, Universal Islands of Adventure from our must-ride scale. Remember, this is our objective scale. Starting from the bottom. Storm Force Accelatron. Carousel. One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. The High in the Sky Seuss Trolley Train Ride. Cat in the Hat. Flight of the Hippogriff. Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. Dr. Doom's Fearfall. Popeye and Bluto's Build Ratch Barges. Skull Island, Reign of Kong. Hogwarts Express, Hogsmeade Station. Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. Jurassic Park River Adventure. Next is Incredible Hulk Coaster and Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. And tied for first, which we refuse to break this tie, Jurassic World Velocicoaster and Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM.
But we also have our own subjective rankings based upon rides that we would personally like to ride the most in this park. Now please, don't come for us for these. Everybody is allowed to have their own opinions and likes and dislikes. So, here are ours, starting with mine from the bottom to the top. At the lowest of the low, Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. Then Popeye and Bluto's Build Rat Barges. One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. Storm Force Accelatron. The Carousel. Flight of the Hippogriff. Skull Island, Reign of Kong. High in the Sky, Seuss Trolley Train Ride, that is a tongue twister. Cat in the Hat, Hogwarts Express, Hogsmeade Station. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. Dr. Doom Fearfall. Jurassic Park River Adventure. The Incredible Hulk Coaster. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM. And Jurassic World Velocicoaster. Yours?
There isn't a place low enough to put the first one. Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls.
We're aligned.
Then Popeye and Bluto's Build Ratch Barges. Storm Force Accelatron, the Carousel, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, Dr. Doom's Fearfall, The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, the High in the Sky Seuss Trolley Train Ride, Skull Island Reign of Kong, The Cat in the Hat, Flight of the Hippogriff, Hogwarts Express, Hogsmeade Station, The Incredible Hulk Coaster, Jurassic Park River Adventure, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, Jurassic World Velocicoaster, and no surprise at all, number 1, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM.
That adds up.
How about water ride in the top 5?
That's pretty nuts.
Who thought that could
Pretty
happen?
nuts. All right, well, that is a wrap on this challenge.
Let us know your top and bottom rides at Islands of Adventure down below.
But until next time, friends, please be sure to like this video, subscribe if you are new, follow us on all of our socials, and come join us on Discord. We would love to have you there. Links for all that down below.
Also, check out the Mammoth Club Patreon, where we
yeah.
share behind-the-scenes content, including a weekly behind-the-scenes podcast.
Yes.
And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
And I'm Alan.
And it has been an adventure.
Boy, has it. Nice.
Yeah.
It's better than saying it's been an island.
No, but my feet are still wet. I want the record to reflect I'm still wet.
All right, so let's go dry off.
Yeah.